right, welcome everybody. Good evening. I hope you all had a good Monday, though it is, after all, a Monday, and that might be why you are joining me for some yoga. And of course, also Fat Pants wanted to do some yoga today, so he might be joining us for part of this as well. I thought we would this evening start a little bit slowly and build and build and build. So we'll just keep adding things on as we practice. As usual, you have the option to use any kind of props that you might like. You can grab a couple of blocks if you like. You can grab a cushion for your knees if you're practicing on a harder floor. That can be kind of nice. We are going to do a little bit on our hands and our knees, but this is just going to open up the whole body, get you a little warm, get you a little bit out of your head and into your body. When you're ready, go ahead and take a comfortable seated position. I'm sitting cross-legged, but that is just because it feels good. You could sit with your legs in front of you. You could sit on a block or a bolster. You can even sit up against a wall for this first portion here. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Soften your gaze, or even close your eyes if that feels good to you. And take a nice deep breath in. And an equally deep breath out. And then just continue to pay attention to your breath here for the next few moments. Feel your rib cage expanding, not just forwards, but to the sides and to the back. So it's like an inflation of a balloon, 365 degrees. Continue to feel the expansion as you breathe in, but also begin to notice what happens as you breathe out. Things draw inwards. Things grow softer. Throughout our practice today, we'll pay attention and kind of use our breath, that expansive inhale, the filling up, the kind of lightening of the body. But we'll also use the exhale, the drawing inwards, the softness, the letting go. One more deep breath here. And then all you're going to do from here is begin to fold forward. If you need to adjust your seat, don't worry. If you're sitting cross-legged, don't worry. We are going to do this with each of the legs crossed. And as you fold forward, it might be just a few inches, but you might come a little further forward. You're welcome to rest your forearms, your hands on the floor, or on any kind of prop. Some people can rest their forehead comfortably, that was hard to say, to the floor. Reach your fingertips forward. You need to feel a little stretch in your hips and your lower back. And here you're just going to wander your fingertips over to your right side, just so you start to feel a little stretch along the left side of the body. And spend a few breaths here. As you inhale, feel the expansion, feel your shoulder blades lift up a little bit. And as you exhale, soften, draw inwards, get a little deeper. From here, you're going to come into a little side bend. You can walk your right hand further to the right if you want and lift your left arm up overhead. Find a place that feels comfortable. You can draw that hand in or out. Maybe you even look up towards the ceiling. Relax your shoulders as you breathe out. And as you inhale, you're going to come back up. Reach both of your arms overhead. And as you exhale, twist over towards your right. Relax the shoulders as you exhale. As you inhale, reach up through the crown of your head. Inhale, you're simply going to come back to the center line. If you have a symmetrical leg positioning, maybe you just switch to a different position. If you're sitting like me cross-legged, you're going to switch the crossing of your legs. We're going to do that whole thing to the other side. So as you're ready, just fold yourself forward. And you go to the point where it starts to feel just a little bit stretchy. Remember, this is a slow and gradual build, so you don't need to max out your effort in the first few poses or little mini sequences. You can just ease in. The inhale expands. You feel your spine maybe starting to grow a little bit longer. The exhale, maybe you relax your jaw. As you inhale, you're going to walk your fingertips a little over to the left. And again, just enough to feel that stretch on the right side of the body. Soften a little bit into it. And just enjoy this slow, steady stretch. When you're ready, you can plant the left hand down and bring the right arm a little up over your head. Gaze could be up if that feels nice. Feel the deeper stretch in the side of the body. Inhale to the center line. And as you exhale, you twist and you drop your hands over towards the left side. Again, your inhale makes you a little taller. It kind of brings you into the pose. And your exhale allows you to just relax and find a comfortable space within this posture. When you're ready, inhale back to the center line. And as you exhale, bring your hands down by your sides. We're going to do that same sequence, but now we're going to take our legs wide. And anything about the width of your mat or wider, if you have that capacity in your hips and your thighs, is totally fine. But when you have the legs wide, you're just going to fold yourself forward. And this one might not be nearly as far forward. But if it's a flexible area for you, you can bring the forearms, or some people even the forehead, to the floor. Feel the stretch maybe a little more in your inner thighs now. Don't hesitate to move. I like to rock a little side to side here. You can also come a little up and a little down. Use your breath, maybe inhaling to lift and exhaling to lower. And then again into that side bend. So press your hands down, walk your fingertips a little over to your right side. Again, it's just far enough to feel the stretch. You can always stack the left hand on top of the right hand here to access a bit of a deeper stretch higher into the shoulder. And then you come towards your side bend. You can leave your right hand far away if that feels good, or you can always slide it a little in. Maybe a little look up if that feels okay for your neck. Inhale, come to the midline, arms up. Exhale, twist to the right. Take just one deep breath here, starting to move just a tiny bit faster. Inhale back to the center line. And as you exhale, find that forward fold. If you need to take a break and move your legs around between the sides, don't hesitate to do so. This forward fold is symmetrical, so if you spend less time in one side than the other, that's not a big deal. It's a good place to break or rest. When you're ready, you walk the fingertips to the left. Spend just a few moments here. You can let your head be quite heavy here. You can stack the hands if you need that deeper stretch. When you're ready, come into that side bend, lifting the right arm up. You can adjust the positioning of your left hand if you need to, drawing it further in or out. It's not about how far you go. It's about, does it feel really good to your body? Inhale back to the center line, and then as you exhale, you twist to the right. Twist to the left. Soften your shoulders. Inhale back to the center line. And as you exhale, bring your hands down, gather your legs in, place the soles of your feet on the floor. Maybe lean back a little bit and just give your legs a wiggle from side to side, your knees a wiggle from side to side, little windshield wipers. And then as you're ready, you're going to roll yourself all the way to one side and come to your table pose. So you're facing now the short edge of your mat. You need to adjust where you are in relation to me. Go right ahead. Spread your fingers nice and wide. You can have the tops of your feet flat, or you can have your toes tucked under here. As you inhale, soften the center of your chest. Relax your abdominal wall. Shoulders draw back, gaze and tailbone reach up towards the ceiling, cow pose. As you exhale, tuck your tailbone down, lift your belly up, bring your chin towards your chest, cat pose. Inhaling to find your cow pose. And exhaling to find your cat pose. Let your head be really heavy here. A couple more like that. Move at the pace of your own breath. You might notice I'm really into bending my elbows right now as I come through this. Your arms can be a little more straight, however, if that feels good. Maybe try one more of each. And here, inhale back to a neutral spine, not rounded, not arched. Take your knees a little wider than the distance of your own hips and begin to bring your hips back towards your heels. Crawl your fingertips forward and bring your forehead towards the floor. If your forehead does not like to touch the floor here, you could bring your hands in and stack them, stacking your forehead on them. You can place any other kind of prop, a pillow, a block, a book underneath your forehead. If your hips are quite lifted, that's completely fine. If you need to relieve pressure on the tops of the feet, you can place a blanket under the ankles or between the heels and the hips as well. We are going to stay here for 3 more deep breaths. So accommodate your unique body. Add or subtract what you need. Inhale, fill the body with breath. Feel the rib cage expanding. Exhale, relax your jaw, relax your shoulders, relax your belly. One more deep breath here. Next time you inhale, find that little bit of lift in the body. Press the palms of your hands down and come back to your table pose, bringing your knees in underneath your hips. Inhale again, find your cow pose. As you exhale, find your cat pose. Adding on a little bit as you inhale, lift your right leg behind you. You can find your kind of cow shape by lifting your heel and lifting your head. You might even feel your glute activate. And then as you exhale, bring your knee in towards your nose, lift your belly. Inhale, reach behind. Exhale, knee to nose. A couple more like that. Keep your lower belly active here. So even as you reach this leg out behind you, the low belly is pulling in to support the lower back. One more. And here you're going to hug your knee all the way in towards your nose as close as you can. Maybe you can even tuck your knee down, or your knee in, excuse me, and your nose down and kiss. And then see if you can step your right foot between your hands. If you need to prop your hands up or kind of wiggle and lift yourself, some people like to step out and then wiggle in, go for it. You're in this low lunge position. Stack your right knee over your right ankle. Start to lift the center of your chest. You could stay right here, or you could bring your hands up onto your thigh. You'll begin to roll your shoulders back. Start to feel a little stretch on the left hip, front of the left hip. Maybe you even like to lift your arms up into the sky. Breathe deeply in here. And as you breathe out, soften your shoulders. If you like, you can even bend your elbows and take some cactus arms. As you inhale, maybe the arms lift back up. Maybe this is just a movement of your breath. Exhale to release. And you just have one more breath here. You can be doing the movement with the arms, or you can be doing the movement just with the breath. Again, inhale where you are. And as you exhale, you're going to fold forward. Plant your hands down. This is a great place if you want to place blocks or props underneath your hands to do so. Draw your right hip a little back. Start to straighten your right leg until you feel a stretch. If you need a little deeper stretch, you can wiggle your foot forward and flip your toes up. Keep your left hip more or less above your left knee. So you're in a more upright position here. Reach the crown of your head forward and feel the back of your leg. Enjoy that sensation. One more breath here. And as you inhale, you're going to come forward. If, like me, you walked your right foot really far forward, you want to kind of scoot it back underneath the line of the shoulder. Plant your left hand down. Again, you could go for a prop underneath your hand or all the way to the floor and twist to your right. You could bring your right hand to your hip or your right arm up into the sky. Shrug your shoulders back. Draw your belly button in towards your spine as you exhale. And as you inhale, reach your shoulder or your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Inhale here. And as you exhale, you're going to fold back down. Plant your right hand to the outside of your right foot. Take your right foot back behind you for that three-legged table as you inhale. Maybe here you'd like to bend your right knee and stack your right hip on top of your left. This little scorpion pose. Shrug your shoulders back. You can look over your right shoulder. Again, feel that nice stretch at the front of your hip. And then lower the right knee to the floor. Tabletop. One cow, inhaling. And one cat before we take the other side. Inhale, find that cow pose, but now also reach your left leg behind you. Exhale, find the cat. Draw your knee as close to your nose as you can. Inhale behind. Exhale to draw everything in. Remember, the belly stays engaged the whole time. Even when you're lowering it towards the floor, the muscles aren't collapsing so that you don't feel so much in your lower back. You feel your glutes. You feel your butt muscles working. Last one like this. And then you're going to draw the knee in towards the nose. Hug it in as close as you can, maybe kissing the nose and the knee together. And then setting that left foot up between the hands. Finding your lunge position. You could stay quite low, fingertips to the floor, hands propped up. You could do hands onto your thigh, shoulders roll back. You can lean a little forward to maximize that stretch at the hip flexors. Maybe the arms like to come up to the sky. Inhale, elongate, fill with breath. Exhale, soften. You're welcome to do the cactus arms here with your breath. One more set. So you're doing 3 deep breaths in this lunge position. Inhale, find a little bit of elevation. Exhale to fold forward, fingertips to floor, hands to prop, straighten the left leg a little bit. You're finding your Ardha Hanuman or half splits. You can always wiggle the left foot forward to get a little straighter in that left leg if you need a deeper stretch. Reach the crown of your head forward here. Relax your shoulders. You can tuck your chin towards the chest. Enjoy that deep sensation in your left leg. And then as you inhale, you're just going to release that. Again, if you took your left foot quite far forward, you want to drop back kind of in between the hands under the shoulder line. The right hand will plant down and you twist over to your left. You could take your left hand to the hip. You can reach your left arm to the sky. Shoulders shrug back. Inhale here. And as you exhale, you're going to fold back towards the mat. Plant your fingertips down. Sometimes it's even helpful just to lift up onto the pads of the fingertips so you have more space to go back into that three-legged table. You can plant the hands down there. You can bend the left knee and stack the left hip a little on top of the right. Baby scorpion pose. And then left knee next to the right knee. Inhale, find your cow pose. Exhale, find your cow pose. Here, as you inhale, reach the crown of your head long, tuck your toes under, and perhaps lift up to your downward facing dog. If you come to downward facing dog, take a few moments, pedal out your feet, lifting and lowering the heels. If you prefer, you can stay in your table pose, and you can continue your cow-cat. Also an option here to return to your child's pose and rest. Again, listening to what your unique body needs today. Customize. Take another breath wherever you are. And then making your way to your table or your downward facing dog. You'll begin to walk or step your feet towards the front of the mat. You're coming towards a forward fold. Feet a comfortable distance apart for your body. Knees are soft. Hands can rest on a prop. Arms could lace up. Hands to opposite elbow crease. Hands could simply dangle. And just like our forward fold earlier, you can move around. You don't need to be static here. This is just about kind of getting some space in the body, loosening things up. Take another deep breath here. And then press your heels into the floor. Keep your knees quite soft. You're going to roll like a rag doll to the sky. So heavy arms, heavy head, one vertebrae at a time. Imagine rolling up. If your back feels tender, feel free to walk your hands on your thighs for extra support. When you end up at standing, roll your shoulders back. Reach up through the crown of your head. As you inhale, lift your arms overhead. As you exhale, press the palms of your hands together and fold all the way back, forward, soft knees. Forearms to thighs, hands to shins, fingertips all the way to the floor. Inhale, lift up halfway, fingertips to the floor, hands somewhere on the legs, spine roughly parallel to the earth. Engage your belly muscles like you did in your cow-cat when you were extending the leg, and reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale to release. Soft knees. One smooth breath this time. Roll yourself to the sky. Maybe this time you take your arms out and up to the sides if that feels good. Exhale, hands press together and you fold all the way forward. As you inhale, you pick up your version of halfway lift. Shrug your shoulders back. As you exhale, you fold. One more time, you roll all the way up to the sky. Soft knees, press into the heels. Maybe the arms come out and up. Exhale, fold back towards the mat. This time, plant your fingertips to the floor. Inhale, find halfway lift. It's fine if your knees have to be quite bent here. As you exhale, plant your hands down and walk or step your feet back to your downward facing dog or knees down to your table pose. Inhale here. As you exhale, bring your knees to the floor. If you were already in downward facing dog, your hands might be far enough forward to simply shrug your shoulders forward over the wrists. If you came to table, you might need to slide your hands forward, shoulders over the wrists, low plank position. Untuck your toes, lower slowly to the floor. Press your belly down, press the tops of your feet down, shrug your shoulders back. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to soften. Inhale, press into the palms of the hands, lift the center of the chest, come just high enough to start to feel a little bit of a stretch. You can always go higher if you need to. Exhale to release. You have one more cobra. Your variation, what feels good, what feels stretchy in your shoulders and engaging in your back. Release, tuck your toes under, rock back to your low plank position. Here, you could stay, or with those toes tucked under, you can lift up to your high plank. We're going to do just 3 push-ups, not a lot. Bend your elbows and start to come down towards the mat. If you need to widen your hands, don't hesitate. Maybe you can kiss your nose to the floor, but maybe you only go halfway. And then inhale, lift back up. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. This is the last one, and you're going to come all the way onto the belly. Untuck your toes, glue your belly to the floor, glue your feet to the floor, and lift the center of your chest. Find your cobra. Exhale to release. Tuck your toes again. Press back. Table pose. You could untuck your toes and come to child's pose, or you could come all the way to downward facing dog. Spend a few breaths. If you feel frisky today and you're excited for the buildup of this class, we're getting there to a little bit more fire, you could continue fire. Half vinyasa, inhale to plank. Exhale, big push-up or knee push-up to the floor. Inhale, cobra, or if it's in your practice, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can also take this time as an opportunity to rest. Child's pose or table pose or lying flat on your belly. We'll all meet in downward dog or table in the next breath or 2. And on an inhale, you'll float your right foot into the sky. On an exhale, you're going to step your right foot up to the front of the mat. Work to bring it between your hands. If it doesn't quite make it, grab your ankle, show it where to go, or walk your hands back to frame your right foot. Fingertips to floor, hands on props as needed. Shrug your shoulders back as you inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bring your hands to the inside of your right foot. Turn your left foot to face the long edge of your mat. Walk your fingertips towards the long edge of the mat. Turn your right foot to face the long edge of the mat. Your fingertips are now underneath your nose. You might place your hands on a prop, or you might continue to fold forward. Prasarita Padottanasana. Wide leg forward fold. If it feels good, you can even take your arms behind your back and interlace your fingers or grab a wrist. Feel the inner thighs again. Same thing we were doing on the floor, but now there's muscular engagement, not just stretching happening. Imagine that you are trying to isometrically squeeze your feet together towards one another, towards the center line of the mat. So you feel your inner thighs start to fire up here. Take another deep breath. If you took your arms behind you, on your exhale, go ahead and release them now. Press your fingertips into the floor, lift up about halfway so spine is roughly parallel to the floor. Engage your belly. We're going to come all the way to standing. Hands walk on the thighs, hands to the hips, or arms out to the sides. If your core feels strong, lift all the way up. Inhale. As you exhale, turn your right foot to face towards the short edge of your mat. Bend your right knee. This is warrior 2. Reach out through your fingertips, gazes forward over the right fingertips. Take a deep, full breath here. Again, squeeze your feet towards the midline of your mat so you're getting that inner thigh engagement. Inhale, flip your right palm up. As you exhale, fold to the back of the room, left hand to left thigh, right arm overhead. Exhale, relax your shoulder. Inhale, maybe you reach a little further back with the right hand, you feel the stretch. And as you exhale, you release. Let the breath support you. Let it kind of do the work of this pose for you. One more breath. And then as you inhale, you come all the way back up. As you exhale, bend your right arm, bring your right arm to your right thigh, and bring your left arm up into the sky. You can also reach your left arm a little further overhead if you enjoy that side stretchy sensation. Squeeze your feet together. Feel your thighs working. Inhale. Come all the way back up. Come back to your warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Turn your right toes to face the long edge of your mat. And fold back forward. Place your fingertips on the floor. Inhale. Lift up halfway. As you exhale, you're going to walk back to the front of the room. Right foot turns to face it. Left foot turns to face it. And you're going to step back into downward dog or lowering the left knee back into your table pose. Take a deep full breath. Inhale, float your left foot to the sky. Exhale, step your left foot towards the front of the mat. Walk your hands to the inside of that left foot. Walk to the long edge of the mat. Right foot faces it. Left toes face it. And you find here your wide-legged forward fold again. Might be quite high. You might be looking back behind you. See where you feel a stretch in your legs. Feel free to add your arms, taking them behind your back. If you interlace your fingers, maybe think about, oh, what's the strange way, the different way to interlace my fingers? Squeezing the feet towards the center line of the mat. Release your hands. As you inhale, find that halfway lift. As you exhale, shrug your shoulders back. And then on that inhale, again, you're going to come all the way up. If you need to bring your feet closer together to come up and then wide apart, don't hesitate to do so. You can always adjust. Turn your left foot now to face the front of your mat. Bend your left knee. Take your arms out to the sides. They're working to be parallel to the long edge of your mat. You're working to stack your left knee, that's your front knee, over your left ankle, or even a little bit back towards you. Take a deep breath here as you turn your gaze forwards. And then flip your left palm up. Inhale. As you exhale, fold. It's like a gentle sway back to the back of the mat to reverse your warrior. Spend a few breaths here. And let the movement of your breath, the inhale, the expansion, is where you find the stretch and the work in the pose. Maybe that's where you draw your feet together. And the exhale, you're like, oh, okay, I can just settle in here. Just a few more breaths to go. Gaze could come up if that feels nice. And then as you inhale, back to the center line, arms are parallel to the floor. Exhale, bend that left arm, stack the left forearm on top of the left thigh, reach the right arm straight up, or maybe a little deeper over your head. Inhale, reach the crown of your head forward, reach your right fingertips towards the short edge of your mat. Exhale, soften. Find a few breaths. You could be looking up, but you could also be looking down towards your left big toe if that feels better for your neck. Inhale, come back to the center line. Straighten your left leg, turn your left toes to the long edge of the mat, and again, fold forward. We're going to add on a little bit here. Plant your left hand underneath your nose and twist to your right. You could bring your right hand to your hip. Bring your right arm to the sky. If the floor feels far away, tent your fingertips or grab a prop. Shoulders shrug back. Inhale here. And as you exhale, fall down towards the floor. Plant your right hand, twist to your left. Shrug the shoulders back, lift the belly button up and inwards. I like to think of it as like I'm sewing a literal button onto my belly button. You have to kind of dive in and really get in there. It's like you're pushing it back. Inhale. And then exhale to fold towards the floor. Press your fingertips behind, find halfway lift. Draw your feet together. Inhale, come all the way back up to standing. Reach your arms out to the sides. And then up over your head. Now you can keep your feet parallel to the short edges of your mat, or you can turn your toes a little out. I find that's honestly more comfortable for my body, but see what works for you. Reach up here as you inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring your right hand down and your left arm over your head. Find your side bend. Take a deep, full breath here. Gaze could come up if that feels nice. And then inhale back to the center. Exhale, go the other way. Deep, full breath. Inhale back to the center. Press the palms of your hands together. And again, fold forward. Fingertips come to the floor, to blocks. Lift halfway as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, you just start to walk back to the front of the room. Left foot to face it. Right foot to face it. Plant your hands down and step your left foot back. Table or downward facing dog pose. As you inhale, you make your way forward to plank. Shoulders come over the wrists. The knees could be up or the knees could be down. 3 little push-ups. Feel free to take your hands wider or do military push-ups if that feels better. Exhale, you go just as far as you need to go. Maybe it's halfway. You feel the muscle shake. Lift back up. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. One more. And then you just let yourself come all the way down to the floor and tuck your toes. You can adjust, bringing the hands more under the shoulders if you brought them wide. Shrug your shoulders back to find your cobra. Exhale to release. And you could come back to your table pose. You could come back to your child's pose for a few breaths. Or you could come back to your downward facing dog pose. Find the place that feels just right for your body. Meeting in the next breath in table or in downward facing dog, your choice. You're going to lift your right foot again to the sky as you inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to take your right knee up to the front of the mat, placing the foot between the hands, assisting it there as necessary. Shrug your shoulders back, walk your hands to the inside of your front foot. Left foot turns to face the long edge of the mat. Right foot turns to face the long edge of the mat. Adjust your feet. Maybe your toes like to go a little more in or a little more out as you find your wide-legged forward fold. Deep, full breath here. And then drawing the inner edges of the feet together. Inhale, you want to come all the way up to standing. Find the variation that works for your body. Turn your right foot to face the front of the room. Inhale, bring your arms wide. As you exhale, bend that right knee. You're back in your warrior two. Same thing as before. Right palm turns up as you inhale. As you exhale, you fold to the back of the mat. Only this time we're going to move a little more dynamically. Inhale to the center line. Exhale, now come to your extended side angle. Right arm to right thigh. Inhale, come to the center. Exhale, float to the back. Inhale to the center. Exhale, extended side angle. You can continue like this. You can always slow this down, spending an extra breath in each position. A little deeper would be to fold a little further back, maybe reaching down a little towards your calf. And then perhaps you reach down the inside of your right leg as you come forward. Inhaling and exhaling. A few more here. Feel free at any point to take a break. And go until you feel nice, gentle fatigue in your thighs. Start to feel the sides of your waist. Maybe one more set. Inhale, come all the way back up. Straighten your right leg. Turn your right toes again to the long edge of the mat and fold all the way forward. Feel free to adjust the angle of your feet here. Mine always like to turn in a little bit. Inhale, find halfway lift. And then as you exhale, walk your fingertips towards your left foot. So you're going back into the side bend. Feel free to bend your left knee or adjust the angle of your foot. And you want to just walk over to that side and bow your head down. Some people feel perfectly comfortable with this leg very straight. I feel like today a little bend is nice. When you're ready, walk back through the center line. You can always adjust the angling in your feet. You can always bend your right knee as you walk your fingertips over in that direction. Feel some openness in your outer hips, your lower back, maybe your shoulders if you've reached your hands pretty far over to the side. And you're already all the way back over to the right, so you're just going to keep going to the right. Moving your hands down, turn your right foot to face all the way to the front of the mat. Turn your left foot to face all the way to the front of the mat. For this one, you're going to take your twist again. You're welcome to keep your back knee lifted or take your back knee to the floor like we did the first time. Left hand plants down, right hand to the hip or right arm to the sky. Find your twist, shrug your shoulders back. If you do have your back knee lifted, lift your back hip, lift your left hip up a little bit. Find the strength of that back thigh. Press the left heel towards the back of the mat. Inhale. As you exhale, fold down towards the floor. You're going to step back either to your downward facing dog or lowering the left knee. Right knee next to it, table pose. Spend a few breaths wherever you like. Table pose, maybe cow and cat. Resting in child's pose. Or holding your downward facing dog. Wherever you are, breathe. As you inhale, feel the expansion of the muscles. Feel the expansion of the tissues as the lungs fill with air. As you exhale, let things relax a little bit. What are you engaging that you don't need to? For many of us, it's the jaw, we clench. Or we hunch our shoulders up towards our ears. Those are not things that need to be happening right now. Or we death grip our fingers, or we death grip our toes. What effort are you making that you don't need to make right now? Meeting in the next breath in table or downward facing dog. Once you're there, the left foot floats to the sky as you inhale, and you step the left foot up between the hands. Walk the hands to the inside of the front foot. You're going to walk all the way to the long edge of the mat. Right foot turns to face it. Left foot turns to face it. As you exhale, find that wide-legged forward fold. Let your head be heavy. Take a deep breath. Inhale, pick up your halfway lift. Squeeze the feet towards one another. Exhale here. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing, your variation. Turn your left foot to face the front of the mat. Bend your left knee. Warrior two, reach your arms out to the sides. When you're ready, your left palm turns up, that's your inhale. And as you exhale, you fold to the back of the room. Inhale to the center line. Exhale, left arm to left thigh, right arm up over your head. Inhale, center. Exhale. Move at your own pace. And again, remember, the intention here is just to feel your body working. So maybe you need to slow it down. Maybe your body has already worked really hard today. Or maybe you need to do a little more, reaching down towards the floor. Reaching further back on the thigh. Expand your range of motion. Make this a little more challenging, a little more dynamic. Find your rhythm. That inhale expands you, brings you back to the center line. It's like it floats you up, and then as you exhale, you just melt back to the side. Maybe one more set. And inhale. Come all the way back to the center line, straighten the front leg, turn the toes to the long edge of the mat, and find your forward fold. Soften into the knees, let the head be heavy. Inhale, press the fingertips down, find halfway lift. Again, we're going to come to standing here. So in your own way, hands walk up the thighs, hands to the lower back, hands arch to the sides, come all the way up. Now turn your toes out and your heels in. So you're in a squat position. Adjust the distance between your feet so that you feel stable here. And as you bend your knees, just take a look. You want to adjust so that your knees are tracking kind of over the center of your foot. So you're not doing like this. You want to feel stable. So if you're more of a sumo wrestler, that's fine. If you're more of a ballerina, also fine. Find a stable space in this squat because we're going to add on just one more little side bend. Relax your shoulders. Bring your arms out to the side. This is your inhale. As you exhale, bring your left arm to your left thigh, bring your right arm over your head. Inhale to the center, and exhale to the side. And again, you just go a few times side to side. You can rest the palm or the arm on the thigh, or you can go down the inside of the thigh, tapping towards the calf. Do as many as you need to do to feel tired. And if you're not tired yet, I'm going to go once more to each side. You can keep going and skip the next wide-legged forward fold. If you're tired like me, come back to the center line, take a deep breath. Maybe on the exhale, you can even bend your knees just a little more. And then inhale, squeeze the thighs together, lift up, turn the feet to the long edge of the mat and find that forward fold. Couple of nice deep breaths here. And then press your fingertips down, lift up halfway. And here you just walk back towards the front of the room. Left foot turns to face it. Right foot turns to face it. Step back, table or downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. High or low, knees can be up or down. You can simply lower yourself to the floor if you feel first. You can take 3 more push-ups. 1, 2, and on the 3rd one, you can lower yourself all the way down. Let everything go. Untuck your toes. Find your cobra. And then as you exhale, you're going to come to lie all the way down on the floor, maybe lying your forehead down. Extend your arms in front of you here. Interlace all of your fingers except your indexes, which will point straight forward. And just surrender to the mat. Let it all go. Embody your exhale, that softening, melting, releasing. As you are ready, walk your hands back underneath your shoulders, press your palms down, and come back towards your child's pose. Take your knees again a little wider than the distance of your own hips. This time, press the palms of your hands down so you're a little bit elevated here. Now press your fingertips down. I said palms, but I did fingers. And then what you're going to do is lift up your torso a little bit and take your right arm and thread it underneath your left armpit. And as you fold forward, you can always place some kind of prop underneath your head. You can look underneath the armpit, or you can place the forehead forward, stretching out that shoulder joint. And let the weight of your body here do the work. Ready, you can trade sides, pressing down into your fingertips. Lift up, unthread, and now you'll take the left arm underneath the right armpit. And again, you find a prop underneath your head if this pressure feels like it's too much on the shoulders. Don't worry if your hips are quite lifted away from your heels. If you look more like a table than a child, that's completely fine. If you feel a little stretch around the back of your shoulder, that is fantastic. That's all we're looking for. When you're ready, go ahead and unwind. Reach your fingertips out in front of you. Take a breath in your child's pose. Now walk your fingertips back towards you. If sitting on your heels is a happy spot for you, you are welcome to take a baby camel, your baby camel from this position, sitting onto your heels. That's not a happy spot for you. You might prefer to sit with your legs extended in front of you or with your legs crossed. Wherever you decide to be, walk your hands just a little in front of you. Any angle for the fingertips is completely fine. You want to be about shoulder distance-ish apart. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and imagine that you are using your shoulder blades to press the center of your chest forward. So you're finding this little back bend. And maybe you even look up a little bit. You can walk your hands back a little further to enjoy this stretch. That was really hard to say, chest stretch. Feel free to let your head drop back if that's something that feels comfortable. Just be mindful when you come back up. If you go all the way back, it's head rush territory, so go slowly. Another deep, full breath here. And then gently begin to walk your fingertips in. Roll the gaze forward. And stretch your arms out in front of you. If you want to adjust your seat, do not hesitate. There's no seat that's necessary here other than one that's comfortable. You're going to cross your right arm on top of your left arm. You can use your left arm to pull your right arm across the body, or you could take your elbows together and come into an eagle arm, backs or fronts of hands together. Let your elbows be heavy here. Maybe even let your chin nod towards your chest. Now the shoulder blades separate at the back a little bit. As you're ready, simply switch sides. You're going to open your arms out to the side. If you want to change your seat or even just the crossing of your legs, go ahead. And then you bring your arms in front of you and you cross your left arm over, and you can use your right arm as kind of a little hinge just to pull it across. That can feel quite nice. Or you can go towards that eagle arm, backs or the fronts of the hands together. Heavy elbows, maybe even a heavy head. Again, use your breath. As you inhale, you can push your sits bones down and lift up a little through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, you can simply relax and soften. Inhale to open your arms out to the side. And exhale to float the hands down. From here, you're going to bring yourself all the way down onto your mat. So just make sure you're sitting right in the center. You could hold behind your thighs or extend your arms and your legs. Inhale here. Again, find a little bit of expansion, a little bit of lightness. And then as you exhale, sink towards the floor. We'll finish off our practice here with just a gentle twist. Go ahead and hug your right knee in towards your chest. As you do that, if you feel like the left leg is too far away, down there long, you can always place the sole of your left foot on the floor here. Inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to take your right knee over and across the body. Maybe you extend your right arm out to the right to create more space. This variation of the twist doesn't feel good. If you have the knee tented, the knee is just going to fall out to the side. Feel free to bend or straighten your legs as needed. When you're ready, inhale back to the center line. Place the sole of the right foot on the floor. It could remain there or it could stretch out long, your preference. Left knee comes into the chest. When you're ready, you cross that left leg over and across. You can stretch the left arm out in the opposite direction to deepen the twist in the torso. Feeling free to adjust the bendiness or straightiness of your legs. Technical terms. When you're ready, bring your knees back to the center. Hug the left knee now to the chest again. Hug the right knee to the chest. This is Apanasana. Maybe rock a little side to side. Or if you like, go to happy baby, soles of the feet to the ceiling. And from here, you can make your way to Shavasana, extending the arms and the legs long. If there's any other pose or shape that your body likes, you can always add that before you come to your Shavasana. Remember, it is not at all important what position you Shavasana in. You could be lying down on your back, on your side, on your belly. You could be sitting. You can prop yourself up with cushions and pillows. Ask yourself, do I feel comfortable here? The answer should be yes. Again, take a deep breath in. Fill your body with breath, with life, with energy. And as you exhale, let that breath out. Release tension, holding, excess. Inhale, breathe in life, enjoyment, excitement. Exhale, breathe out stress, concern, anxiety. Whatever that it is that you need, breathe it in. Whatever it is that you would like to let go of, breathe it out. Encourage you to stay here in your Shavasana if you have the time. Stay for another 5 or 10 minutes, just relaxing. If you need to go about your day, you can begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Eventually rolling yourself all the way over to one side, resting there for a few breaths. Before making your way to your most comfortable seat. As you arrive in that seated position, and bring your hands in front of your heart. And close our practice with a deep breath together, in through your nose if that's possible, out through your mouth. And we'll begin on 3. 1, 2, 3. you so much for sharing your practice and your time with me. I hope you found benefit from this practice. Please share this with any of your friends that you think might benefit. Welcome them into our practice. Thank you all so much, and I hope to see you soon.